All right. Here we are. It's been a hot minute. I been pretty busy. Sorry. Not online busy, but busy. Excited to be back. Um it's been like a week or two. I can't really remember, but uh life, am I right? We have a lot to catch up on. If anybody's out there wants to chat. Not at my normal hour. I think I'm gonna have to be shifting those hours. Seems like life is shifting and I have to do the same thing. Let me see who is here. No one, because I just jumped on. Wow. Okay. Also, streaming on my YouTube vertical live as well, if anybody's interested in popping over there. Also, if you're interested in seeing this ad free, feel free to venture over to my YouTube page, youtube.com/at Derek DeNicola. And you can actually go to my live channel, see a bunch of streams if you want to see where we left off. I feel like maybe I should have done that, to be honest with you. Where did I leave off? You know? I think last time we were in the writer's room. And we created something. Let me pull up the old whiteboard, our big, beautiful whiteboard. That's right. That's right. We ended up going through a bunch of ideas and combining them into something kind of unique. I wonder if we couldn't even just take the idea that we've all done together, depending on if anybody shows up, from the last time that we did this. Hi, Mia. Welcome in. Thanks for stopping by. Happy to have you here. Hi, Mia. What part of the world are you joining us from, and how is your day or night or afternoon, morning going? Pleasure to have you here. We are writing over on my YouTube live, my Twitch live stream, and picking up from where we left off. It's been a little while since I was on. Welcome. I hope you enjoy this. I know I do. I really love like getting online, seeing where everybody is coming from, what we're doing, and then also just taking some time to just be creative and talk with one another. Liberty Allen, too. Yeah. Play. Um, excellent. I, are you asking me to play? Are you playing? I'd love to know what you mean. But also, oh, play a game. I see. I'll be honest, not a game player. I'm sorry if that makes you scroll off of the channel. I'm a writer. And if you're on the Twitch or YouTube live stream, you'll see that we have a big digital whiteboard, which I will pull up right now. And we kind of collaborate on ideas and come up with them together and then turn them into actual pages. One of my favorite tools to use this, to use is something called Freeform. It's kind of an infinite whiteboard that came with my Mac programming. I'm just going to go ahead and put that up there. Oh, thank you. I hope you're having a good day too, Liberty. I appreciate that. How is your day going? And what are you into? Are you a writer as well? Or are you just kind of scrolling through YouTube, seeing what's out there? And thanks for stopping on me. I appreciate it. I'm a writer. And the last time we jumped online together, a bunch of people contributed their ideas. We kind of workshopped them, narrowed them down. I believe if you were on the YouTube lives or the Twitch live streams, we did some polls and voted almost in like a round robin tournament to to narrow down the most interesting ideas. And then we ended up taking both of those ideas and combine them rather into a really unique storyline that I had never thought of before. Sometimes the randomness, the combination of two ideas can make something seem pretty unique. A middle manager that secretly has ESP is forced to use his gift when his best friend and coworker is fired before his fellow employees can hunt his friend down for their bonus. I know that sounds like a bunch of mush, but um, we were drawing inspiration from the Yorgos Lanthimos movie, kind of The Lobster. It kind of felt absurdist uh, to take two semi-absurd premises, somebody who is stuck in middle management, even though they have a really wonderful gift of being able to read minds, and and also that if you become unemployed in this world that we've created, you are hunted down and like prey. Um, oh, thank you for the hearts, Liberty Allen. Thank you, appreciate you. uh, so yeah, I wonder if what that would look like if we even tried to write on it today. Let me check the chats on Twitch and YouTube and see if we have anybody joining us who was here last time. I wonder. Hmm. No, it doesn't look like anybody familiar. Here's what I will say. We are doing this at a different hour than we normally do. So perhaps what we can do today is kind of just chat. Sometimes that's nice too. Sometimes the greatest way to write is to have a conversation with real life people. What are you doing? What are you into? Tell me about yourselves. Don't share too much personal information online, of course. Be safe and conscientious about what you share online. But in general, are we artists? Are we writers? Are we students? What are we studying? What do you want to be? What do you want to do in 5 years? What kind of things do you like? What are you watching on TV? What is the last book that you read? What was the last movie you saw? Right? I would love to see what you guys are doing, what you guys are listening to, if anything at all, and how you feel about it. Also, if you're interested, on my YouTube and on my uh Twitch live stream, there's a link to a Discord. If you ever want to share work or want me to read your work out loud or critique it or just support you in any sort of way, to encourage you to keep going. I know a lot of people are self-conscious about sharing their work, but you shouldn't be. I think it takes a lot to produce a work. It takes a lot of courage to share it, but that is already light years ahead of most people who just end up being like fans of books or fans of movies or fans of TV shows or fans of other people's writing, poetry, music, whatever it may be. So go ahead and tell me about yourselves if you want to, of course, uh, or feel free to lurk. I do it all the time. Who has time to sit and answer a bunch of questions from a random stranger on the internet? Well, hope it's you, but if not, then we will just kind of keep looking at our own work. I would say, let me read through these brainstorms and try and catch myself up on where we left off in these last few weeks. The brainstorm was we wanted to create something where we felt unique in a world where everything is the same. We see a lot of these tropes in stories, movies, poetry. It's a pretty common human feeling to feel like we are different, that nobody gets us, that we're the only one who can feel the pain of this breakup, or feel the loss of this loved one, or feel the anxiety of not having this job anymore, or whatever it is that we go through. But the truth is, the more personal that you get with a work of fiction, art, yourself, a story, whatever it may be, the more you will actually resonate with other people's experience. It ends up being um, more like a process where uh, through you sharing what is personal to you, you find that the people who gravitate towards your work are the people who found relief in the fact that someone else said it and that they didn't have to say it. You see it in stand-up comedy a lot, right? Like, uh, hi, Mia. You see it in stand-up comedy a lot when somebody picks out a little nuance of something about, isn't it, and what's the deal with airline food? Or how come that there's that one drawer in your kitchen that you always have trouble opening, right? Uh, well, those are, um, those apply to everyone, but it feels like such a relief whenever somebody else says it. Whenever we decide to pay attention to the little things, when we decide to uh, uh, have a myopic view of our life and blow it out into a story, a narrative, a poem, a song, a dance. Shade Master J, what's up? Heyo, what's up? How you doing? Good to see you back in the chat. How have you been? What have you been up to, Shade Master? Forgive me, I feel like my voice is going already, but it's been such a long day. Mia, I see you said hi. How are you doing? What are you up to, by the way, on your side of the world? Here, let's keep reading through this brainstorm while everybody gathers their thoughts and trickles in. Um, I believe the thought process was, well, that is a great theme. However, it's pretty vague. We need to start attaching specifics to the feeling that we want to communicate, right? Often as writers, we feel motivated to write something because we have this feeling welling up inside of us that we feel like we have to put on paper, that we have to tell. Shade Master, when you say from somewhere else, I'm streaming from the same location that I always do, but I'm on YouTube and I'm also on YouTube Vertical Live. So it depends on if you mean like this place or if you're meaning a digital platform, in which case you have some options. If you don't want commercials, you can always hop on over to the YouTube Live and watch ad-free, and you'll get to see the big digital whiteboard that you can't see on the YouTube Vertical Live. So sorry that you can't see it, but guys, I'm still happy that you're here. Happy to have you here. Hey, Emma. Yeah, WTF, right? I have no idea. You have to tell me. Let's see. What else? So, we have, oh, written by Liv. Thanks for popping in. So in this writer's exercise, we jumped on this vague idea that kind of interested everybody, but then we started assigning some specifics to it, right? So we decided, let's pitch some ideas. What is specific? What is it to feel unique? Give me an example of feeling unique, and then give me an example of where, in a world where everything is the same. So we said, in a world where everyone has an AI assistant chip implanted into their brain, right? You could pick anything and just make it the same across the board. In this world, everybody is left-handed. In this world, everybody is made of glass, really just kind of mad-libbing this thing until we find some inspiration, challenging ourselves to become creative and peek into the recesses of our brain until we find something that is interesting and emotionally resonates with us. And in this example, we said, in a world where everyone has an AI chip implanted in their brain, our hero gets theirs deactivated, only to find that it makes them more powerful than the world's combined intelligence. Has a little bit of a pluribus vibe, just a different premise or setup to it, right? Kind of maybe individualism can make you stronger than a hive mind. Then we pitched, in a world where anyone who gets fired from their job gets hunted down by everyone else who is employed, right? Maybe the employed get a bonus for hunting the unemployed down. That was a really interesting premise. Emma said, "Oh, sorry, wrong person. No problem. All good." Hey, it's totally fine, but I appreciate you coming back. And thanks for stopping, even if by accident. All views are welcome. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want to. Also, we said in a post apocalyptic world where the last remaining residents of a city fight for resources in their bunker. So in this case, we said everybody is in the same because they're basically on the same playing field. They're all subject to the same post apocalyptic environment, and they all have the same need, which is to have access to resources that are limited. And then we decided, well, what's the unique thing? Well, one of these survivors decides to take their chances outside. And you often see this in good sci fi as well. This is something that's happened before over and over. Emma, thank you. You have a good day. It was a pleasure to talk to you, even if by accident. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Em. Thank you so much. Every like and every sub means a lot to me. So even if it was by accident, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. um, and then our last example was in a world where ESP doesn't exist, and we kind of had some debate about this. Like, does it even exist in our world? Is it just a regular world? Do we even need to say in a world where ESP doesn't exist? I don't know. Um, our protagonist can read minds, right? So in a world where everyone can't, we have someone who can, kind of a superhero trope, if you will. I think the spin on that was we decided to make our hero some sort of middle management corporate guy who does not use his powers for anything amazing until he is forced to. And what we did was we decided, well, how do we force this person to use their ESP? Well, we or mind reading capability. Well, we actually went back to our drawing board and we found another idea that kind of gave us that kind of made us perk up, that everybody kind of emotionally resonated with and started talking about in the chat, which was that kind of Yorgos Lanthimos lobster absurdist world where, hey, if you are unemployed, then you don't have value to society other than being something to be, other than us turning you into an object to hunt down, right? And I was like, okay, well, we combined both of those things to make this really unique log line. And what it seemed to be was like a pitch for almost an absurdist comedy. And then you have to choose the vehicle, right? This is basically where we left off is how is this story best served? Does it deserve a really long poem? I don't think so. To me, it's such a hefty, lofty premise, plot-based idea that it would probably take a good amount of world building, and I don't want to say exposition because we're not trying to, even though that's what we are doing, we always try and show instead of tell, right? Otherwise, it just feels like a diary entry. Otherwise, it feels like uh, a therapy session, but that's not what we're doing. We're storytellers. We want to make something cinematic. We want to spark imagination. We want to put a unique world inside of our readers' minds that they can roll around in and enjoy and feel like our work was intentional. So I would say nix on the poem. I think there's three good avenues for this, which would be one, something in prose, whether that be a short story, or potentially a book, or potentially a screenplay and or short. I think these, once you get into something that just isn't a poem or music, then hopefully you have something that could be interchangeably made into either medium, right? Cinema or prose. Um, and how do we decide that? Well, cinema is a pretty practical medium. You have to hire a crew, you have to shoot it, you have to make sure that it's interesting visually because cinema is a visual medium. Um, so, barring these deeper discussions aside, what we really need to do is keep focusing on the story and just realize that it's not a poem and that it's not a song, it's not a dance. We have a few avenues that we can do to make this happen. And also, I dare say, could be a musical, but I'm not going to embarrass myself by attempting to do that for you. Uh, let's see. What could we look at here? How about we start looking at this is the joy of an infinite whiteboard. Ah, a blank white page. I get excited about the blank white page because there's nothing more thrilling than an empty canvas. You can mess up on an empty canvas. It's just something to play around in. And who isn't excited about playing? If you're not excited about playing, you might be doing it wrong. Let's bold this up. So we look at things. At least I do usually in 3 acts. You could do 5-act structure if you want to. It's different words for the same thing. We nail all of the foundational dramatic beats no matter what we do. But what we're really talking about as well, if you're new to writing with me, is a beginning. We're talking about the middle, and we're talking about the end. And those are the things that we're going to have to start filling out before we realize what this story really is about. Now, I'm going to go back up here. I'm going to drag this down just into view. This, for lack of a better term, is a log line. This is something that we do to keep ourselves on track, to keep our ideas in between the gutters, so to speak. It's a touchstone. It's the idea of the story that we promised that we would tell to our reader, viewer, listener, whatever it may be. And you can use this for any art form, really. A poem has a beginning, a middle, and an end. A song has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Everything starts, everything and everything ends, and there's always something in between, even if it's just a breath. Now, we are going to, the thing that we're going to really need to examine to propel a story forward, something that makes a story worth investing your time in, is the characters and their relationship to one another. Now, it might seem daunting to not really have a ton of characters, but that is a problem easily solved by what I like to call making shit up. Just have fun with it. This is kind of improv. There are no wrong answers. There's stuff that we probably won't use, but one thought leads to another, and you're never going to get there unless you start applying those jumper cables to your brain. So let's start asking ourselves. We have we already have one guy. We have a main character. That's our protagonist. Ooh, protagonist. And let's just pick a name. Sometimes I like to do this. I'll just look at. I just look at a book on the shelf and pick a name, either first or last name of an author. We'll call him Luis. This is our protagonist. What do we already know? Well, we have already told the audience that we're going to tell them the story about middle. Middle management, lifer, who can secretly read minds. And I kept saying ESP because I don't know why I didn't call him a mind reader, but I'll also, you won't be able to see this, but on Google, I'll pull up like what is ESP. It's extra sensory perception, but what does it really mean? It's known as the sixth sense, or mind reading, telepathy, clairvoyance, premonition. So, in just doing a simple Google, a simple research, we have actions that we are going to be able to give our protagonist, Luis. Clairvoyance, so fun. Mind reading. And what was the last thing I said? Premonition. And let's clarify. What's the difference between clairvoyance and premonition? Clairvoyance is the ability to see or anticipate the future. And premonition is a strong feeling that something is about to happen. They're kind of close to one another. One is see the future. Premonition seems to be feel the future. And of course, I think we know what mind reading is from countless other movies, sci-fi, television shows, Black Mirror, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, so we kind of have some actions for Luis. Now, how do we make this character even deeper? Well, whoops, ooh, crazy scroll. Let me check the chat. Mookie! Mookie, you don't have to do that. Welcome, man. I'm sorry. It's been a while since I streamed. I think 1 or 2 weeks. My schedule just got away from me. But I'm so glad that you're here. I'm glad to be back. Thank you for joining. I know this is a different time than I usually do. Still on Tuesdays. Hi. Be sure to like and subscribe if you're interested in what I'm talking about. Even guys. You got to go check out my YouTube live, or you got to check out my Twitch live stream. Be sure to click the name up there, and I have links provided in case you want to see the big digital whiteboard that I'm talking about, that I'm working on. And for those of you who are just joining us, that's exactly what I'm doing. We are working writers. We're picking up in a writer's room where we left off from our last session. We brainstormed a completely unique idea, and now we're starting to assemble it. We're starting to fill out the fat. We're starting to kind of outline and see our work take shape. And if you actually want to visually see the work take shape, as opposed to me just talking to you, be sure to hop on over. Also, be sure to like and subscribe. Also, back to our protagonist. We're calling him Luis. Mookie is everywhere. Fantastic. Thanks, Mook, for being on both. I appreciate you. Let me scoot this over so we can have a better view. So, want. There is, and I want to clarify this. There are two kinds of wants that our character normally has. Well, I'm sorry, there are several wants. The overall want, the external want, the internal want. And then there are, what does our character want from this scene? Now, we're not writing a scene right now, or this chapter, or this situation. Oh my God, Mookie is truly everywhere. My God. Thank you, Mook. Fantastic. But that's what does our character want from the scene applies to whatever we're writing in that moment to kind of propel us through the scene, right? The overall want propels our character through the story. Um, and it doesn't really matter what our character wants, they're going to get what they need. They need to think that they want something. We, as writers, sometimes have to be smarter than our characters. And sometimes we can choose a want, and it could be generic to start off with. Like, let's see, we know that Luis. Let's try and suss it out of a log line. We know that he's in middle management. He secretly has ESP, so he has a secret that could make him great, but he's not sharing it. And he is forced to use it when his best friend or coworker is fired. Going to break the secret for, right? So this guy has a big secret, and he's willing to expose his secret for the sake of his friendship with his best friend slash coworker. To me, that tells me that his overall want maybe wants to keep his friend alive. You know, it could be that simple, simply because he's willing to risk his greatest secret in order to do it. So that's kind of clear. Um, he could internally, he wants to not be so alone, right? I think that's probably something that at one point in all of our lives, or even maybe currently, who knows what you're going through? Sorry if you are, but at this moment, but we've all felt lonely at some point, right? Either through the loss of a friend or family member, or even just going on vacation with a family and leaving your friends behind, or some sort of breakup where you think you'll never get back out there, or whatever the case may be. At some point, I think it is a very human experience to feel lonely. Hey, a lot of people feel lonely in like a really crowded room. You know, you get overwhelmed by a sense of human um, nature buzzing all around you, and you feel isolated within your own thoughts. You become the fly on the wall, observing everybody as if you're not even a part of the party, right? So there are different ways to feel alone. That can be something that we can emotionally resonate with every time we come back to a scene and need to find some emotional truth. And then we have an external want. Well, I think he wants to keep his friend alive. Maybe it's something like more tangible. So let's give him something that he can physically actually get to. Wants to get his friend to a safe house. Let's call it his parents' cabin in the woods where nobody will find him, right? Okay, so whenever we start making choices like that, and they, like I said, they don't have to be the right choices. This can change as we grow our characters. But does that inspire anything in anyone else? Do we think that's good or bad for some other reason? And would you change it? And if so, how? Right? This is part of the what would happen in the writers' room. So if I'm challenging you to be the writers, well, um, pitch me some ideas. Is something weak? Would you change the cabin in the woods to something else? Cellar door, a basement, um, a blimp in the sky, right? Like, is there something more unique? Uh, or what is a safe house to you in your experience? And maybe it's not externalized. Maybe it's not a physical safe house. Maybe it's something else in this world. Maybe it's just as abstract as the idea of setting this world where if you're unemployed, you get hunted down. And as a showrunner of this digital writers room, I would say, writers, take a look at our main character. Pitch me something. We haven't physically described Luis yet. Um, we haven't described what his job is. What could be the worst job or the highest conflict job title or company that Luis could work for or do that would make this more interesting? Does he work for a gun company? Does he work for the company that leases all the tranquilizer darts to hunt down all the unemployed people? Does he run the company that hosts the prison cells for the unemployed people, the death chambers? Like, how can we put him in direct conflict through plot just by choosing his occupation? Or we can use his occupation to inform what kind of character he is further. For instance, if you have uh, a character who is a lawyer, if you have a character who is a detective or a police officer, um, you often have someone who was wronged in their past and is now actively seeking justice. They have made that their mission. They have made that their personality, so much so that it is their occupation. Occupation is really, really interesting, right? Um, if you're rooting your story uh, in something grounded, we all basically have jobs, don't we? Um, Jobs are something that you spend probably around 8 hours a day at 5 days a week. Um, the thing that you choose to do defines you, whether you like it or not. You could be working at a Burger King, mopping someone's, Whopper vomit off the floor, but it says something about what you're willing to do for money, and how you feel about your job tells us whether you want to aspire to be more or if you're trying to keep your head down, like Luis here in middle management. Do we have any thoughts out there, or is it just me rambling? Let's check the chat. Mookie, nothing. YouTube Live, nothing. Sometimes there's a delay on these things, and that's fine too. I know I have a tendency to ramble on and on. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to reset my YouTube Live chat. And it's going to be one of those off and on again situations. So hang tight if you're here, and I'll be right back. But for everybody else who's on Twitch, YouTube Live, we're just going to continue as if nothing is happening. Okay? We're still doing the work. Here's what I will say. We can maybe learn about Luis. One, by just making some choices and feeling out if they're right or wrong. Two, let's talk about this friend that he's going to save. Our relationship is built into the log line. We know that there is, too, a best friend. Almost like a supporting protagonist, right? Well, let's give this friend a name. Let's see. Okay, this is a weird name, but it's a weird story. We're gonna call this guy Gibby. I say guy, but ooh, what if we choose, um, what if we choose the nature of this relationship? Is it two guy best friends? Is it two women best friends? Is it a guy and a girl best friend platonic? Is it a guy girl best friendship with room to blossom into something potentially romantic? Is it a guy girl relationship where they are exes with mutual respect? Is it any combination of anything, right? Like, what makes the most sense? It almost could be interesting if we had a couple that worked together, broke up, or stuck in the same line of work. And even though they no longer have a relationship to one another, um, it would be it would show a tremendous strength of character for Luis to use his secret ability to save the person who broke up with him, for instance. Isn't that kind of juicy? Isn't that dramatic? I think that's fun. Could it be best friend? Could it be an ex? Ex and co-worker, maybe. Mookie says, perhaps guy and girl, and one can sense that the other is having a romantic tendencies. Yes. Excellent. I like that too. So here we have, through script math, we know that Luis is the protagonist, and Luis has the mind reading, clairvoyance, uh, primitive, premonition, primitive? I don't know. How would you say that? But the ability to have premonitions, ability, right? And what are we going to do with that? Well, we know that he'll be able to sense exactly how Gibby in this exercise feels about him. So, let's see. Before we do this, let's give Gibby the same treatment as Luis. Let's treat every single character that we write like they're the main character. That's how you get depth in storytelling, right? Where everybody has a backstory. Everybody isn't just there to support the main character on their journey, and they're two-dimensional, and they say, hey, have you checked out the room behind the gas station? I bet that's where the hidden treasure could be, right? It's like, no, there's a person who inherited the gas station from their grandparents, even though they didn't want to do it, and they're reluctant to share the secret with anybody, and they have to find somebody that they actually trust. And lo and behold, this hitchhiker comes, blah 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 blah. Right? We can write that. It gives somebody personality. It gives somebody intentionality. It makes us seem elevated because we're being more specific, and it doesn't seem like, you know, strong work feels invisible. Lazy, sloppy work feels like it will stop it'll stop the flow of your imagination. It'll stop the emotional momentum of a story in a heartbeat. So here we have an ex and coworker, Gibby. But you have to remember, an ex and coworker to Luis. But that's not who Gibby is to herself. I don't know. Here we go. We'll call her the antagonist for now, even though that might not actually apply. Let's figure it out. Axel Baruch and Six Fawaka. Hello. How are you? And welcome. Thanks for stopping and joining the YouTube vertical live stream. Appreciate you being here. I'll catch you up on what I'm doing. I'm a writer, and right now on Twitch and YouTube Live, which you can go to my link and follow if you want to see the big digital whiteboard that I'm working on. We're just doing some writing exercises and bringing an idea to life, talking through how we take a vague idea, a vague premise for a story, and start to build it into something real. And hopefully, if even if you're not a writer, you can benefit from this, right? Narrative. I think as humans, we go through our lives telling stories. Introduce yourself. What do you do for a living? Who are you? Where do you want to be in 5 years? It's the things that we tell other people determine whether they become our friends, our enemies, our lovers, all of that stuff. You're in Algeria. Okay, cool. Wow. It's so interesting to reach people from so far away. So thank you. That's fantastic. Thank you for stopping and watching from Algeria. I hope you're having a lovely day. I don't know what time it is in Algeria right now. I'll tell you, I am from California, on the West Coast. Over here, it's around 7 p.m. and the sun is going down. Thank you so much. And also, Cody Anderson, thank you so much for stopping in. Are you a writer? Is anybody in here who landed on this page? Do you happen to be a writer, or are you just kind of hanging out on the internet and seeing what's up and who's talking to strangers right now? Miller, can you say hi to me, please? Hi, Miller. How are you? Of course I can. That was really easy. Let me check the chat. Okay, so I like this idea from Mookie MC. Perhaps the guy and girl, one can sense that the other is having romantic tendencies. This is fantastic. What this does is it gives us a game to play. And so I'll put this on a little post-it because I know where this is going to go. I should have done separate things and moved them all around. This is going to go in our middle. This is something that belongs in fun and games. This is something that I just know being a writer for a while. This is the promise of the premise. Hey, Toma, Alpha Thomas Pro. Hi, CEO 8230. Oh my goodness, a CEO. Thank you. Emma, hey, welcome back. On purpose, it seems. Thanks so much. Hey, y'all, be sure to like and subscribe. If you're interested in what I'm writing, you can always click on my name. There's a link to this big digital whiteboard that I'm working on right now, so you can see exactly how we formulate story. So we had this lovely suggestion from Mookie. So I'm going to give Mookie some credit here. Mookie MC has the idea. Luis keeps sensing romantic feelings from Gibby. He wants to stop them. Well, we don't know yet. I just know that this is going to cause some conflict, right? Where Luis either is excited about the feelings, they come at the wrong time, they don't want them and they try and shut them down before they get too far, right? Miller says, oh, let's see. Well, listen, Miller, you're safe here. And while I can't really do anything about that physically on my end, I can just tell you that this will pass. School is temporary, and we're here for you. There's an online community of people who are not interested in bullying you at all, and we're interested in who you are as you bring yourself to the forum, and we're excited to have you here. So feel safe, join us, hang out with us. We'll be your friend. Emma Jepson said, have you a good rest of your day? Oh, thank you so much. You too, Emma. I appreciate you. And I'm so glad you accidentally stumbled on the chat. It was a pleasure to have you today. And thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you. Hope to see you again. Let's see. So, but what does Gibby want? Right? We know a couple of things from our log line, that she works at the same Luis works at the same corporation, cannot read minds, and based on our little premise of Act 2, still has complicated feelings, complicated romantic feelings toward Luis. Now I'm gonna copy and paste this stuff because I want to give Gibby the exact same treatment, and this is some very light character work. This could go on for quite some time. You know, we could spend a lot of time building the nuances of a character, but I think big shapes are important too, and then we just kind of keep zeroing in the actions that Gibby takes. Like, well, what kind of person is Gibby, right? You're welcome, Miller Miller. Happy to have you here. Thanks so much, and yeah, just hang out with us today. And also, if you want to see what I'm talking about, hop on over. You can see the big digital whiteboard where we're doing all the cool, fun, creative work. Mookie, is this set to be a screenplay? If so, 5-page challenge, or is it something else? Mookie, love you. Don't even think about that right now. We're just in story mode. We'll figure out the vehicle later. You know? Right now, let's just look at it as a story. It has a few avenues. It could be a short. It could be prose. It could be a movie. It could be a cinematic short. We decided that it's probably not a song and it's probably not a poem, and and that I'm unwilling to make it a musical. So I think we're gonna stick in that ballpark. But let's not put too much pressure on it now. Let's just focus on the story. And also, maybe the story will tell us what it wants to be, right? Is it more interesting to read about somebody who can hear somebody's thoughts, or to convey them in a cinematic way where it's a lot of voiceover, right? Maybe that will define that for us. So, who is Gibby? Let's pick somebody out of our real lives. Somebody who has their own unique traits. And by saying unique, I'm just saying unique to them. As people, we're all relatively the same. Are they a type A person? Do they measure twice and cut once? And absolutely everything they do. Are they a crazy artistic painter and see the world in abstractions and vivid colors? Are they uh, a fan of a detective series and they love to arrive at conclusions through the power of deductions? Are they smart? Are they a carpenter? Do they pay attention to the furniture that they sit on, to the way that wood is carved? Are they a sailor? Are they really great with knots? You know what I mean? We have to kind of pick something. So, with that being said, I want to see some writer participation instead of me just kind of making some stuff up constantly. Here's what I will say. Mookie says, "Oh, Western." Okay, Mookie, I think you're trying to throw me off, and that's fine. But guess what? Too bad. Loves Westerns, right? And that means that talks like a cowboy. Um, wears cowboy attire. Dips. Uh, rolls her own cigarettes. What else? Wears boots. We can even just say like is from Arkansas and be like Arkansas specific and be Southern, right? So we take the Western suggestion and we turn it into something that we can kind of use, right? Let's see. Then, let's see. For the overall want, this is stuff that I copied and pasted from our protagonist. But let's understand Gibby. Gibby's version of these exact same questions that we have to ask ourselves. What do they want? Externally, internally, overall? How about this? How about Gibby's overall want is to be valued and respected? I'm going to say respected. It's a little the reason that I say valued and respected is like overall want. I think the smaller it is, the easier the target is to hit actually, because then we have to think about, well, what is it to be valued versus respected? Well, to me, I think uh, respect inherently gives you the value, even if that value is internal. I can also see somebody who is a fan of westerns, of cowboy culture, wanting to be respected more so than wanting to be valued. I'm trying to put Gibby in John Wayne's shoes or Clint Eastwood's shoes and the shoes of the 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 rambler from Dodge City who strolls into town and after the sheriff has been killed and needs to bring order to the city. Well, they don't want the town to value them. They want them to respect them, to respect their authority, to respect who they are. Uh, and so let's give Gibby that kind of cowboy, cowgirl, cow person esque vibe, shall we? And I think that overall want to be respected could mean like, hey, let's climb the ladder um, at this corporation, and maybe her ambition of trying too hard to climb the ladder is the very thing that gets her fired. So let's call it external want is a promotion. The internal want. Hmm. I wonder if maybe the internal one is to be respected. Maybe the overall want for the movie is to stay alive. Hmm. Interesting. Even more concise than stay alive. Survive is to survive. Ooh. I'm going to change this again. I'm going to go back to being respected. Internal want is to stay alive and thrive. Because if she can get her job back, will she not be hunted anymore? Is the big question that we have to decide in our little make believe world. Also, I'm going to try one of these little stickers. Fun. I love it. I want to know if people eat their pizza crust first. Okay. Let me check the chat. Mookie, you inadvertently or vertently definitely made Gibby a very particular character, which I really enjoy. Now, we said the antagonist, but I don't think that's right. Gibby is, I don't know, she's really a co-lead, right? They're kind of two peas in a pod. I feel like the antagonist might be somebody who embodies the evilness of the corporation, right? Let's see, put that there. The evilness of the corporation. So the person who got the promotion instead of Gibby, who sabotaged Gibby instead of just doing a good job. What do you think? I think let's go back to the bookshelf and find a random name. Not happy with these. Oh, okay, I got one. This is a good one. This is a good name. Zelda says, "I eat pizza first." Nice. I alternate. I do a little bit of crust, a little bit of pizza, so that at the end I have like basically a small pizza heavy over crust size version of a bite. I guess you could say I probably eat it like a psychopath. And that's fine. That's fine. Who alternates? Does anybody else alternate? Also, let's do this. Haman. Ooh, that's a good name for a bad guy, don't you think? Haman, that's our antagonist. Haman. Let's give him the works too. What kind of person is Haman? And what is Haman's overall want? What about the external want? And what about the internal want? And then, of course, we'll deal with what our character wants out of each and every scene. Let me see what you're seeing. Everybody see this, or is it all cut off? Okay, I'll scroll up. Here we go. Maybe, ooh, you know what would be cool? That would put Gibby in direct conflict with Haman. Haman has the job Gibby wants. Gibby and it's Luis in Gibby's boss, manager. Let's see, maybe he's a micro manager. Maybe he's a suck up. Corporate suck up. We all know the type. Kiss ass, right? Wait, so this is our only way for you to see this? I'm not answering your question. Wait, what are you talking about, Zelda Jackson? What are you talking about? No. You can, if you're talking about the work that we're doing, you can actually just click on my name. I have links to my Twitch and YouTube page, and you could see the digital whiteboard that we're working on. But right now you're kind of, sorry to say it, you're in the cheap seats. You're on the YouTube vertical live stream, but I think the best way to do it is actually go over to the YouTube page, click on live. That way you can see everything that we're doing, plus no ads, no commercials, which is pretty sweet. I'll wait for you there. Mookie says the constant, unrelenting corporate structure that rewards and promotes workers nowhere as skilled as you. The constant, unrelenting corporate structure that rewards and promotes workers nowhere as skilled as you. Oh, yes. In a grander sense, yes. So, but we have to, while this corporation will definitely exist, how do we personify it? How do we make it to where the corporation has legs, can take action, right? Can be on Luis and Gibby's tail. throughout the story to give it a sense of propulsion, right? So this means that maybe he has access to company card, right? Corporate resources at his disposal. That means he's not actually confident in his own ability to do the job and relies heavily on the competence of others. Of course, the word I misspell is competence. Can you believe? All right, Q&A over. This makes him dangerous because the actions that he takes are almost self-preservation. If you could throw the company card and expense all of the weapons that you need, if you can um, send all of your labor to do your job for you, then that makes that makes him highly guarded. He's constantly guarding his own inability to do the job that he is unqualified for. That's really interesting, and that's a really interesting approach. So we have somebody who is angry, micromanagerial, um, all talk, no action, no personal action, blames others. Okay, so we definitely know this type, right? They are very much existing in our world right now. And if you don't know, check out the news. These people run our world and us, unfortunately. Hi, Mia. How you doing? Good to have you back on here. Happy to be back. Streaming with you. If you want to see what I'm writing, be sure to click the link. Also, be sure to like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. It always helps me out. And let's keep editing, shall we? I say editing, writing. We're not editing. There's nothing here to edit. The overall want for Haman is it's interesting because his could be to be respected as well. He's just not willing to do what it takes to gain actual respect. So could be feared. I like that there are two overall wants or two needs that are competing with one another. The easiest analogy to see this in movies nowadays is a sports movie, isn't it? This team wants to win the championship. Well, guess what? So does the other team. They want to win it too. And those two wants being similar from the protagonist and the antagonist do not make that movie any less exciting. The external want is to eliminate his competition and coworker, Gibby. And the internal want is to get approval from, we'll call them the board, right? You kind of see this in every movie, TV show. There's an ominous uh, behind the scenes board member that only communicates through faxes or letters or phone calls or Zooms, right? Where they're all at a distance, kind of being the puppet masters over our corporate puppets. Let's see. Writers, people out there, what are you thinking about so far? Oh, Mookie, eliminate as in kill. We're kind of taking the Yorgos Lanthimos lobster approach, where in this particular world of which we are writing, if you are unemployed, then you are no longer of value to society, and people are allowed to hunt and kill you for fun, sport, whatever. And like I say, the Yorgos Lanthimos approach, a la the lobster. In the lobster, if you could not find a mate, then you would be turned into an animal of your choosing. Hence, why Colin Farrell's character chose a lobster. I won't spoil that movie for you. But that is not the actual finale of the lobster. Okay. So Mookie, Shade Master J, Mia, Zelda Jackson. What are we thinking? As writers, what are your thoughts on where we are right now? What could this story use? Who's the weakest character? Um, what do you want to see happen? Right? Now we can almost start thinking non-linearly. I think we should have more characters than just the three, but for sake of time, brevity, and the format in which we exist in, which is live streaming here on Twitch and YouTube Live, um, what can we uh, hope to see out of this story? Fun little premises using clairvoyance, using telepathy, the ability to read minds, or premonition, the feeling that something is going to happen, the spider sense, if you will. Pitch me some ideas. What are we thinking? What would you expect to see in a movie like this? Wiz turns in reports. Uh, just in the nick of time, every time. What we have to do is say, if this is true, what else is true? Right? This is a fun little game that we play, where in Act One, we could introduce the character of Luis this way. But if Luis has clairvoyance, the ability to see the future, is a mind reader, and is in corporate middle management, I expect something like this. I expect to see Luis finish. Actually, I'm gonna put that under actions. I feel like that's more of a trait than a scene, but Luis finishes people's sentences for them. It'd be like a little fun character quirk that makes the character of Luis quite unique. Everybody else, what are we thinking? What are we thinking? Are you thinking? Goodness. Tearing through that tea. All right. Everybody, hang out. I'm just going to fill this up. I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. Just need to get some more liquid in this glass. Okie dokie. Oh, cool. I step away from YouTube Live and now there's what, 21 people in here? That's insane. Trent Crump. Hi. How are you? Shriram? Shriram? This. 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 This indeed. This. And perhaps that. And also a little bit of all this as well. Happy to have you here. What's going on y'all's side of the world? Are you guys writers? Tell me about yourselves. Mookie MC says, the stronger the emotion, the more it's able to be registered or sensed. So the non-deeper emotions is like Spider-Man sense, and the strong emotions hit like a brick wall. Ooh, and Mookie, we do this often, don't we? Because you come up with an idea, and I feel like I want to go yes and. I feel like that's the mark of a good idea, don't you? It's like an idea that you want to build upon. I almost want to say that Luis has so we could say the stronger the emotion, the more Luis empathetically feels it. So, for instance, if we had a scene where Gibby gets deeply sad, depressed, as the bad guy closes in, Luis also feels depressed. But needs to create a sense of urgency to escape, right? So it's like, what's the quickest way I could talk Gibby out of this depressive state because it's slowing us both down, right? Hi, Dr. Jeffrey Knowles, a doctor in the building. My goodness. Thanks for stopping in, Doc. I appreciate you being here. Doctor of what? Doctor of life. Could you change your hairstyle? I could, but I won't. But thanks for asking. I appreciate that. And let's see. Also, what would I change it to? You know, I can't just like grow it out instantly. And I'm not going to cut it because I'm not that skilled. But you want me to push it around? I can push it around. I can push it down, push it to the side. But it kind of does what it do. I don't know what else I can really do with this mop top. It's been through a lot of wind today. Spent a lot of time outside, in case you couldn't tell by the redness of my face today. Mohawk buzz cut? Oh, wow. Terrible suggestions. Doctor, it hurts when I move my shoulder like this. Oh, okay. He's setting you up, Doc. Go ahead, tell him. I appreciate that, Shriram. Suriram. I wish I knew how to say your name correctly. And I wasn't slaughtering it, but thank you. Thank you for saying that. Oh, wow. I think that's malpractice. This guy is a doctor, is not a doctor, but is calling himself Dr. Jeffrey Knowles. You're just scrolling on live. Oh, well, thanks for landing on me and stopping to suggest that I get a haircut. I appreciate that. Appreciate you. And, oof, so bright. Happy to have you here. Are you American? Sadly, yes. Yes. And I apologize for that. Not a great time for us as a country. But you know, that's the nature of the world. Can't help where you're born. Let's see. Christina. Hi. How are you? Welcome. Thanks for scrolling and stopping. I appreciate you landing here. And I appreciate it. Are you guys writers at all? Or were you just scrolling through YouTube Live to see strangers talking to you live from their living room? Either way, happy to have you here. And if you happen to be interested in writing at all, which is what I do online, be sure to like and subscribe. I'm currently on Twitch and YouTube Live right now using this big digital whiteboard. I say big, infinite digital whiteboard to start outlining a brainstorming activity that we did from earlier into a real story. I'm good. Oh, good, good. Happy that you're good. By the way, I'm a kid. Cool, excellent. All ages welcome. Appreciate you guys stopping and chatting. Either way, happy to have you. I am not, as you can tell. Now, if any of you, no matter what age you are interested in writing, here's what we've done so far. I'll catch you up in case you want to know. What are you doing live? Just talking to people? Well, I'm talking to you guys, but if you ever want to pop on over to the YouTube Live or the Twitch live stream, you'll see the physical work that we're doing. You're Cambodian. Oh, cool. What time is it over there in Cambodia? I live in Los Angeles, California, in the United States. And the sun has officially gone down. We're getting into nighttime here. And so, you know, I'm going to be winding this down. However, I'm just really happy to be talking to you guys. 9:46. Cool. Cool. I don't know what that means. Like AM, PM. I guess I meant, is it like morning? Is it day over there? Are you preparing to start your day, or are you just ending your day and this is how you spend your time? It's 8:16 in India. AM. Cool. Okay. That's fantastic. So you're starting your day with me. I appreciate it. And doctor, bye bye and bye bye. I appreciate you stopping by, Doc. Um, any referrals you're willing to give, I'm happy to take. Be sure to like and subscribe before you go. It was a pleasure to chat with you, if only briefly. So thank you. Bye. Let's check the chat. Mookie, no more suggestions? I feel like it's getting late. It's getting pretty late for everybody, isn't it? It's your dad's birthday. Happy birthday to Christina's dad. I hope the celebration goes well. And you know, be sure to tell your dad you love him and that you're happy he was born. It's always nice to have a special day, isn't it? Ooh, let's use that as inspiration. Maybe a plot point is It is Gibby's birthday. There is cake for her in the break room. I like that it can go from really good to really bad for Gibby. And we just pulled something out of real life. So, Christina, thank you for inspiring a small plot point idea for what we're writing here on the digital side of things. And have a great rest of your day. You're subscribing. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And, whenever you tune back in, maybe we'll have a little bit more of the story finished. But it's so fun to work with it, work with you all on the story. Let's check the chat. Okay, my writers. What does this corporation do? This big, ominous corporation. This Corpo Nation. It's kind of a dumb tropey name, but I'm willing to change it if my writer suggests something new. If something I'm only here. Okay, well, no problem. I appreciate you even being there, where you are. Here at Corpo Nation, we what? What is their mission statement? Remember, let's play the game. If this is true, what else is true? Where if we're saying, hey, in this world, anyone who is unemployed is no longer of value to society. Then they can be hunted. Okay. So, like what does a company look like in this world? Like what is their version of LinkedIn? What is their version of, let's see. Because if yes, I am too. Well, why is it predicated on what I am? Don't you want to, what if it was no? Then would you not be? I would just encourage you to be who you are, regardless of who other people are. I think that's my sage advice to you, Christina. It doesn't even matter what I am. Who are you? Right? Let's see. What does a job interview look like? What weapons do people use? And maybe in answering these questions about our world, we can find out what Corpo Nation does. Do they have satellite tracking technology? Let's see. Emma Jepson says, "Hi, how's it going? It's going pretty good. We're just kicking around some alternate reality stories, just kind of working our way through it, and always asking, oh, it's an employment agency. Mookie MC comes through, clutch. an employment, whoops, employment agency. So Emma, thanks for coming back in. I know the first time was on accident, but now that you are subbed and keep returning, I wonder if you're interested in writing it all. It just makes me think. Maybe you're interested in what we're talking about on screen over here. No problem if not. If you want to lurk, lurk. I appreciate it. I just appreciate the company. An employment agency with maybe they're an employment agency with satellite tracking technology that disperses weapons to people for people to use whenever people become unemployed. So they're the big bad. Not only are they the metaphorical uh evil entity in this story, they are the literal one. They are the brick and mortar version of the of the, of the oppressives. I say the oppressives. There's always what's the opposite of labor, right? I don't want to just say management. Um, is employer, I guess. Oh, according to this thesaurus, it is management. Nailed it. Nailed it right the first time. Ooh, ASU Kulu Deudon Done. S ASU 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 Kulu Deudone? Asukulu Deudone? Diudone? Hi. Um I gave it a couple good tries. I'm sorry if I just slaughtered your name, but hi and welcome. Welcome to the YouTube live vertical. So we have an employment agency. Let's see. So maybe the rules are you can hop from job to job, but you can never be jobless. Everybody's maybe in this world everybody's aspiring to a better job. Like the world wants the promotion, right? The world wants um the higher salary, the better office with the view, the parking spot. Um it's kind of a stand-in metaphor for the American workforce in general. Although I think a lot of people just would like to survive and be able to afford healthcare, but maybe I'm projecting. Let's just say in general. And this in general can also help us shape corpo nations' labor facing messaging. In general, people want to get a better job, with better pay, a parking spot, an office with a view, etc. Kind of the embodiment of the old school corporate American dream, the Mad Men version of the American dream. And here, it's going to be basically satirized into something really violent, which, being from America, is not even really satire anymore. How can you satirize the how can you satirize this kind of reality? Okay. So, this is really starting to take shape, right? Uh, I almost feel like because we know about what we know about Corpo Nation, I feel like this would make a LinkedIn job interview would be a really great cold open. And then opening on like a murder of somebody who they find out has lied on their resume and they're not currently employed. I almost want to say a la Inglorious Bastards opening. Open on a job interview. Oh, and you know what? Heyman is doing the interviewing. Finds out applicant lied about the gap on their resume, is unemployed, and kills him. Ooh, that's interesting. That would make a great cold open, I think. I'll just put this on a post-it note above Act 1, or slightly off to the side here. But it would be an interesting way to start the movie. Especially if the end mirrors the beginning in some way. It's always nice to know where you're going. So if the end of your story is Heyman is tricked into becoming unemployed and is killed by his own petard, so to speak. Right? Like if we trick him into like signing some sort of resignation letter, he doesn't realize it's a resignation letter, and now he's jobless, and now everything that he's been doing to everybody else gets turned on him, right? Now we have a beginning and we have an end, and then the middle is how we get there. All the fun stuff that we can do to make the journey. And now is kind of the time whenever we can start talking about theme. The themes of corporate America can help us fill out the fat, and that way we're seeming intentional. If everything is based around the theme of a story, then uh, then we create the tone, we create the world building without seeming too non sequitur. Is a good way to put it. So I'm excited about where this is going. I will say, it's getting pretty late where I am. It is time for me to kind of peel off. Been on here for about an hour, 38 minutes. I know I usually like to go longer, but y'all, life and my own work life has been a little nuts. Okay. So give me some grace here. Because I need it, and I need rest, and I need a shower, and I need a decent dinner as well. But thank you guys so much for spending some time with me. Let me take a look for everybody who's on Twitch. Let's take a look at who else is on. So we can raid. One of my favorite parts about being on Twitch is being able to share the love. Now, this is not going to be as easy to do with you guys over on YouTube Live. I still really appreciate you. Let's see. Oh my God. Kiara93 is reading and writing Pride and Prejudice Volume 3. Oh, fantastic. What I like about Kiara is that she has a British accent, so when she reads Jane Austen, it just makes sense. I think that's a fun way to end the night. How do we feel about that? Let's raid Kiara93. Mookie, always good to see you too, man. I do apologize that I'm not on for as long as I used to be. But you know, life gets in the way, and one of these days, I'll just have a full day off and we'll do a big sesh. I do have some news. I did get through the end of my novel. I'm doing punch ups right now. I'm really excited to kind of uh, get to the end of my 8th draft and share that with you guys. It's been a long time coming, and it was a huge project, a huge endeavor. But I'll be super psyched to share it with you. Thank you so much. Maybe I'll do like a chapter read. Um, I'll just do chapter 1 and see how you guys feel about it. But for everybody who's on Twitch, let's go ahead and read Kiara. And you can hear an English person read Jane Austen the way it was intended. For everybody on YouTube, live vertical, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. Thank you for stopping. Thank you for liking, and thank you for subscribing. It means a lot to me. And adios. I'll see you there. See you later, rather. And then for everybody who's on YouTube Live, thank you so much as well. If you missed anything from earlier, be sure to go back and check out the rest of the video. So let's go ahead and start this raid and share in the reading and writing love here. And I will talk to you guys next week. And I appreciate you for giving me your time. Thank you guys so much. Let's raid!